Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we are back with another episode of Devil's Den. And tonight, the Devils end the streak. Devils win 4-2 against the Florida Panthers, getting their revenge for the last time they played them. It is so nice. It is such a good feeling to be able to record a video where the Devils win. Not to say that we haven't had plenty of that throughout the season so far. However, going from a 6-game losing streak to a win days before we play the best team in the league, the Boston Bruins, it is a great feeling, and can I say, it is all that I wanted for Christmas this year. So, let's take a look at tonight's game. It was a really good game between the back and forth, the speed, the hitting, the goalies. The goalies tonight were phenomenal. I was, posting things on Facebook and on Twitter throughout the night as the game kind of progressed, and I'm just so glad that they came away with the win tonight. So, let's go over the game. There wasn't a whole lot of scoring throughout most of the game. However, we are going back to our traditional breaking down the game with each and every goal. So, let's jump into it. So, 4 minutes and 45 seconds into the first period, the Florida Panthers score. Eric Stahl, particularly, gets his third with Lomberg and Cousins getting the primary and secondary assists. It's 1-0 Florida. And again, it's one of those goals where we don't clear the puck out front of our net. Our goalie, Mackenzie Blackwood, by the way, started tonight. He played phenomenally well tonight. Not to, shit on him at all right now, but goalie wasn't able to clear it, and they just pass it to an open guy while everyone's hustling and bustling in front of the net. Gets open guy, shoots it, scored. It's another one of those where the Devils have to clear the puck. But again, this video is not to shit on or criticize the Devils right now, because a win is a win. So, later in the first period, Jesper Bratt at the 7-minute and 1 second. Jesper Bratt scores his 11th of the season with an assist from Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, and the game is now 1-1, and that is how we leave it until we get to the second period. So, second period is pretty quiet. There's some back and forths, there's some penalties, there's some power plays. Power plays. There are some giveaways back and forth. There's some really good chances. Jack Hughes is knocking on the door of Bobrovsky. He just can't score. However, second period, I'm absolutely gonna butcher this, so my apologies. Eetu Luostarinen gets his 8th goal of the year at 16 minutes and 12 seconds with an assist from Bennett and Lundell. And again, we go into the third period, and it is 2-1 Florida. And I am not going to lie, my stomach sank, because I legitimately thought going into the third period, based on how both teams are playing, it definitely looks like, that Florida has the upper hand, though the teams were pretty evenly matched going back and forth, but it seemed like Florida just kind of had just a little bit of an edge, especially when it came to puck luck. Hughes, and I'm not sure it was Hughes twice, or Hughes and someone else shot it. One, they both went off the stick of Bobrovsky, but not the thick part of the stick, like the bottom of the stick, off of like the knob of the stick. So they were getting some crazy puck luck, some crazy bounces to keep this game, to keep their 1-goal lead. However, that 1-goal lead does not stay for very long, as into the third period, 2 minutes and 44 seconds, Jesper Bratt scores again. That's Bratt striking twice in this game, tying it up 2-2. Hamilton getting another assist. It's another 2-point night for him, getting the primary assist, and the score is now back to 2-2 until our third and fourth line kicks in. So Yegor Sharangovich at the 10-minute and 10th second of the third period scores a beauty. Siegenthaler getting the primary assist and McLeod getting the secondary assist. Siegenthaler and McLeod, that is their 11th point of the season. And New Jersey, for the first time in the game and for the first time in a while, have a 1-goal lead on the Florida Panthers. We continue, and about 40 seconds before the game's end, 19 minutes and 20 seconds into the third, Tomas Tatar scores his 8th of the year. It's an empty netter, and the Devils leave the game 4-2, getting the win. And thank God, because if they hadn't won tonight, half of that 13-game streak that we had would have been wiped out just like that. But you know what? We get the win, and that makes me a very happy Devils fan. So, a couple of things I wanted to mention. First of all, again, Mackenzie Blackwood playing. It's his first night back since the beginning of November. I think the last night he played was November the 5th. Blackwood played fantastic. Even strength, he went 30 for 31. Power play, he went 3 for 4. Shorthanded, he went 1 for 1. Save percentage, he got a 944 save percentage. That's probably some of his best numbers all season. So we're glad to have him back. I'm sure Schmid is kind of, thank God I don't have to play any more games in the NHL right now. So you can go back to Utica and kind of just chill for now. Anyways, Mackenzie Blackwood had a really good night. There was a couple of times where I swear Florida was going to score, where Mackenzie was kind of on the ground, stretching his toe out here or there, making great saves, kept the boys in the game, and that is how we ended. And another player I wanted to mention who had a really good game, who I've gotten some flack for criticizing, but I will highlight when he does good things, and that is Damon Severson, who had a +2, best plus-minus rating of any of our defensemen tonight. He had a +2. Didn't have any points. Like I said, Hamilton got 2. Siegenthaler got a point. But Severson had a good night tonight. He had one turnover that kind of made me shit my pants a little bit, but I can look past that. Best defenseman that we had tonight in terms of plus-minus. Now, something else that needs to be addressed since we're talking about defense is Ryan Graves. So, Ryan Graves took a hard hit really early in the first period, and it looks like his knee or his leg kind of bent the wrong way it wasn't supposed to. He had trouble walking. He left early in the first period, and he did not come back. Now, this injury is going to be huge going into the next couple of games, especially back-to-back games against Boston, where we have John Marino out, who has played like an absolute superstar. But now it looks like we're going to have Ryan Graves. I almost said John Tavares. Ryan Graves, John Marino, both out. Both are huge blows to our defensive core. We're probably going to have to pull some people up. So it looks like we're basically going to have Brendan Smith, Dougie Hamilton, Damon Severson, Jonas Siegenthaler, and Kevin Ball, who I want to give a huge shout out. Kevin Ball had an amazing night tonight. I didn't have any points, did finish with a +1. However, his work ethic, his stepping up for the team, his hard hits, I was really impressed with how Kevin Ball played tonight. There was a couple of times where he delivered some really, hard, crushing hits on Florida, and I think that, recognition is deserved for Kevin Ball tonight. He played so well tonight. Guy's a workhorse. He's very much like Mercer in this regard. He's someone who's getting called up from the minors, has to earn a spot on the roster, and tonight he did a really, really phenomenal job. So, there's that. Now, there's one particular thing I wanted to talk about really quickly. There seems to be this illusion in the Jersey fan base that I'm noticing on certain elements of social media, where it feels as if, and I've talked about this before, but I feel like it's worth bringing it up again, especially given that we just entered came out of a 6-game losing streak. There seems to be two kind of sides to people when the Devils do well or not good. There is the one camp, which is even when the Devils do good, constantly shitting on them and going, "Oh, it's just luck. Oh, it's whatever." And then when we start losing, it's, "Oh, this team is done. Oh, this team is finished. Oh, this team is whatever." But you know what? Then there's the other camp. There's the other camp of people who it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. It's constant praise and never any criticism. You have these two camps. If we could meet somewhere in the middle, that would be great. In terms of when they lose, we should be able to say, damn, that was a shit game. We didn't play well, and then move on to the next one. And on the other side, we should be able to criticize players in the team or say, hey, this person did not play well. Hey, this person needs to get their shit together. Hey, this player needs to do, A, B, or C, whatever it is, in order for the team to have success. There seems to be a weird thing where you either have to always praise them or always shit on them. And if we could just kind of come together in the middle and be like, hey, when they play well, we give them credit. When they lose, we give them shit. Now, one thing that I'm really disappointed in seeing is the Fire Lindy chants are back. Why? The team has a couple of bad games and suddenly it's Fire Lindy. Did you not learn from the first two games of the season? Loses 2, fire Lindy. Like 2 weeks later, sorry Lindy, because they start going on a 13-game winning streak. Can we just... I don't want to use the word reactionary, but it feels like that's the case, where people just want to jump on a bandwagon of always praise or always criticize, and it's a weird phenomena that I'm noticing, and I feel like it's worth mentioning, but I could just be crazy, I could just be insane. But that's just my 2 cents on it, and that's something I wanted to mention. Really quickly, one particular statistic from tonight that I found absolutely hysterical. The Panthers had 41 penalty minutes this game. Now, the Devils only won on the power play 3 times, but they were being thrown out constantly and being penalized for fighting after the whistle. There was a lot of really cheap, dirty shots on the Devils, specifically against Hischier. If you go after a guy after the whistle, you're a piece of shit. I'll say it. Which brings me to the other thing I wanted to talk about. There has been a lot of conversation, myself included, talking to other people about, do the Devils need a designated hitter? Now, I understand the word designated hitter is for baseball. I understand it, but I think it's appropriate for this particular thing. There's a lot of conversation about bringing in someone who can hit, and the Devils are too soft. To the soft thing, maybe you have a point, because our top 6 aren't exactly the most muscle-bound guys in the world. But I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't... Where are they soft? Like, where? Every time... Well, I shouldn't say every time. There's been a lot of times where Hischier or Hughes or Bratt gets taken advantage of, and that's true across... That happens on literally every NHL team. However, tonight, Ball stepped up, Hollis stepped up. There was it was a really good, there were a couple of times where guys were stepping up and were hitting people. In hits, we almost had 20 hits tonight. We did way better in hits tonight than we did in other games. And it feels weird to me, and I had one conversation. And it was actually a really productive conversation with another Devils fan about how, we don't want someone that's just a hitter, but can score, hit, assist, play make, has the hockey IQ. And I would agree with that, but it feels weird to bring in someone whose only role is hitting, or you bring them on for the role of being just a go in and hit people. It feels, and I feel like we can do better. Right? Now, a lot of people will say, well, hold on. is not the point of bringing in Brendan Smith, was not the point of bringing guys like Eric Kalla, to which I will say no. Eric Kalla has a lot of, he's I wouldn't quite say he's quite a veteran, but he's had a number of years in the NHL. He can bring a veteran presence. And I think that was the point. Not only can they hit, but they bring leadership to one of the youngest teams in the NHL to calm them down in high pressure situations, to lift them up when they're having a shit time in net. And speaking of leadership, he sure has really stepped up in terms of leader. This guy is getting cross-checked in the back, headshot, slashed, tripped, and he springs right back up, and he's back in the play again. And it's just, I don't know where I'm going with this, just that it feels weird to me to bring in people who are just hitters when it seems like this team has every capability of stepping up for one another. When Andre Palat comes back, that's a guy who's not afraid to get in someone's face. That's a guy who's not afraid to lay the body. Not only is he talented in stepping up when his team needs him to, and that's evident in like every Tampa Bay playoff round. You can go ahead and look at, Palat's past games in the playoffs, but he is an all-around good player. He has the leadership. He has the veteran presence. He has Stanley Cup victories. He can hit. He can score. He can be a playmaker. And it's going to be great when we get Andre Palat back in the lineup again. So, on that note, I think I'm going to end it here. We did do 2 videos today. We did the Florida Panther game tonight, and we did the Carolina video this morning. If you haven't seen that, go to our YouTube channel, Devil's Den, and basically all of our videos are there. I believe the Carolina thing is already at almost 20 views, which is a really good starting point. But again, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like the videos. And I'm hoping that by the end of the season we have close to 70 or just over 70, 75, 80 subscribers by the end of the season. We will see if we hit that goal. But on that note, guys, I'm going to head out of here. You won't be hearing from me until after Christmas, after we play Boston. So if you celebrate Christmas, have a great Christmas, have a great Hanukkah, have a great Kwanzaa. I don't care what you celebrate. If you don't celebrate anything, have great holidays, and I will see you guys when we play the Boston Bruins, which is going to be a crazy game. On that note, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.